So I went out to shoot a vlog on moving water in the ocean the other day, and
came out to my favorite local beach today, and it's kind of windy.
yeah, so that's not gonna work. So I figured I'd still share the tips and just show some of the images I got. So let's jump into it and talk about a few of these and how different shutter speeds and things like that can affect your ocean water shots. All right, let's jump into it. All right, number one, try different shutter speeds. So once you lock in a good composition, don't just shoot like 1 or 2 shutter speeds that you think are gonna work. Go ahead from like 25th of a second all the way through to multiple seconds and see what kind of look you're going for and what works best with the scene. But once you hone in on, a good range, take quite a few in there. I love a 1/4 second because it still leaves a lot of detail in faster moving ocean water, but it also gives you that ethereal vibe. So I like to go around 1/4 second, anywhere around there is kind of like my favorite zone, but I still do all kinds of different tricks. So let's check out a few examples. All right, this shot here was a 1/3 of a second. You can still see how ethereal the water looks, but you still get a lot of the detail in there. So it's a great look. It's blah, blah, blah. So yeah, you still get a lot of detail in there, but it has that cool moving water look. And it's just one of my favorite speeds, like 1/4 second, 1/3 second, 1/5 of a second, all in there is great. Here's another one at a 1/4 second, and you can see how it kind of retains all the detail, but it still gives it that cool, ethereal vibe that we all like so much. So you never know what you're gonna get when you get back to editing. Just take as many different shutter speeds as you can. You can't take too many images. When you get back to editing, you'll have a different look at all the images and you're not in the moment. So give yourself options for when you get back to the computer. And you can also blend multiple shutter speeds into one final image. So in this image here, the front has 0.6 of a second to give it a little more ethereal vibe, and then a 1/4 second in the back, which gives it a touch more detail. And you probably really wouldn't be able to tell unless you knew and you're a photographer, but blending these multiple speeds can give you a lot of creative options, and it's super fun. All right, so going on that, number 2, you can do longer multi-second shots, 2, 3, 4, 5 or more seconds, and get that misty vibe. So in this image here, it's a 6-second exposure, and you can see how it kind of just makes it kind of garbly and soft and mushy, but it's a cool look, and it's definitely something you should try, and you can get some really surreal, ethereal looking images this way. Like here in the second one, this is also a 6-second. The front here has a tide pool where the water wasn't moving, and then the back there was tons of water crashing in and out during the 6-second exposure. So it kind of gave it a cool vibe with the still pond and then this ethereal misty looking pool in the back. So definitely don't forget to try those longer exposures, and you can come out with some really cool unique shots. But also with this shot I use forced perspective because these rocks are actually a couple feet high, so you can't really tell. It looks like a valley or a canyon with this weird misty blue water in the back. But yeah, with that misty water, the 6-second exposure, and the forced perspective I was using, came out with a really unique image from this place. All right, number 3, if you don't have an interesting foreground, you can leave sand space in front of you where the water's crashing in and out, and that can give you some amazing foregrounds. Every shot's gonna be different, and that's what's real neat about it. I'll actually show you an example. I got one of my favorite water lines. I had waves crashing in the back. The lines in the foreground are awesome, but I missed focus on the rocks, so, and you'll never get this shot again. That's the thing. It's that's why I love shooting at the ocean, because every time the water draws in or out and you're doing long exposures, you're getting different shots every time, and it's so cool because you'll never recreate the exact same one. When you get back, you just hope you got a good one. I usually take 300, 400, 500 images in these kind of sets, and then come back and find 1, 2, 3 that I really like, or a couple I can combine. And if you're using water in your foreground, you really don't have to focus stack because it's gonna be, slower shutter speed, and it's there's no sharpness in that. So it's great because not have to focus stack the entire scene, and you can focus more on the creativity. And that's super fun because each shot, like I said, is different. And take your shots when the water's crashing in, but some of the best shots really are after it's crashed in and the water slowly recedes out and you're doing longer exposures. You can get so many cool lines that draw you through your scene. So it's nice to get it crashing in, but don't forget to take shots as the water's receding out, and you'll get amazing leading lines and curves all through your image. And if you have a strong foreground or background subject, it's just awesome to lead your eye right through the scene to that. All right, last, it's fun to shoot abstract. So I'll show you one image here where I actually had to get up, because the water was coming. I had my tripod, I was doing a long exposure of the water drawn out. But during that, while my camera was open, while my shutter was open, the water came in and I had to pick up my camera. And the shot actually still came out cool because it's just all abstract. So I'll show that And here's one more abstract of like regular where my tripod was fine, but the water came just up to under my lens and then started drawing out. I think it's a longer exposure, maybe 6 seconds, I don't know, I'll throw it up on screen, but you can barely see the sand details in the foreground, and then it's just like this milky wash of white that goes out. It's kind of cool, it came out nice. But yeah, do abstracts because you never know what you're gonna get. It's so much fun because you can just shoot and shoot and shoot, and it keeps you busy and you have a blast, but you'll only get a handful of those, but it's so much fun because you never know what you're gonna get when you get back to editing. But yeah, definitely try some abstracts. It's a blast because you go out there and shoot a ton of images. You don't know what you're gonna get until you get back to the computer, and it's just a blast to go through them and see all the different curves and lines that it makes. Like I said, you're never gonna get the same shot twice, so it's super fun to just go through all these images and see what kind of one-of-a-kind shots that you came back with that day. But it's just so much fun to go out there and practice and learn because it's constantly changing, like I said, and you just always have subjects any time of day. All right, guys, appreciate it. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button, like, share, and comment. I appreciate it. We'll see you next time.